Hi guys, and welcome to today's video. So today's video is going to be a quick spring cleaning. So this video is kind of a chatty one. It's a spring cleaning, but also the direction I will be taking my channel in. So during my February haul, I had said that I wasn't going to jump on the no buy, low buy train because I like makeup. So why? Well, I love makeup and I like buying it. I do like collecting makeup, and I know possessions don't mean anything. I am very blessed with a beautiful family. I love my dogs. I love my life. I like to do things. I like to travel, but I do like to have things. I work hard for my money and I don't want it to always just go to bills. But I do think that there are things that I regret buying because I am an impulsive buyer. So I am going to work on that. And I'm not going on a no buy, but I am going to go on a low buy. And I'm going on a low buy because I had a setback this month. We had 2 deaths in the family and I had to travel to Puerto Rico. So that, along with I recently had kind of a flare-up of a condition that I have, which maybe I'll get into one day, but I'm still not ready to. The medical bills on that set me back. And by setback, I just mean that kind of like my fun money or money that I set aside for my channel or just to do things are gonna be going to that for a little while. Let me fix this a little bit. I think makeup will always be something that I like to test out and try, but I do want to be less impulsive about it. I pretty much have a collection that brings me joy. So whenever I open up my drawer and look for something to play with, because I really love playing with makeup, I like that I have options. I like that I have a large collection because that is what I collect. I know that makeup doesn't last forever. It doesn't last forever then. What does? I mean, we don't last forever. So I don't mind that I have a large collection, but there are things in here that did not work out because makeup is trial and error. But I do tend to look at reviews as well as wait for a sale. So because I tend to look for a sale and read a lot of reviews, a lot of the things that I buy, I do stay with and enjoy. But since I've had quite a big haul in the first quarter of the year, I do want to clean out some stuff. I did find stuff that I can already remove because I have bought other things that bring me joy, and when I look at these items, they just don't. First up are palettes. I'm letting go of a few. So 3 that I am letting go of just because they're brand new, and I can either put these up on my Poshmark. I don't know if I will. I've been wanting to do a giveaway, but I just don't have a lot of followers yet. I kind of wanted to do a giveaway like if I hit like 1,000 subscribers or something. But anyways, these are 3 palettes that I got like in bundles with Hush, and I like Hush makeup. I think they're a really good alternative for people who can't afford high-end makeup. I've tested it out. I enjoy the formula, but I do prefer high-end makeup just because I do like the experience of it. When I play with makeup, I like the packaging. I like the whole entire experience of makeup because I truly am a makeup enthusiast. So these palettes, some are good and some are bad, and some I just haven't opened and I rather just pass them along. So the first one up is this Bad Habit. This is the Mythos palette, and this came in a bundle, and I got it because God, I've mentioned her before. I think it's like Simply Heidi, or so it's Everyday Heidi. I think she ranked like all her Hush. So she talked about this palette, and this one I did dip into, and this is a one that I'm going to declutter. This is one I actually didn't like. Here's the palette, and this is supposed to be like a dupe for, I believe, the Pat McGrath palettes, and she talked about this Karma color, this blue color, and I'll insert a picture of a look that I did with this. I really love the look that I came out with using this palette. And this is the Cult Mystics palette. But the amount of fallout that I had to deal with was insane. I don't know if I have a dry palette or what. I mentioned in a lot of my videos that I don't mind fallout, but this was insanely bad. This was like this specific color here, this pagan color, and this resurrection color. Like, I don't know if you can see all the how dusty this is. And Dose of Colors, ColourPop, Anastasia Beverly Hills, I find those to be, they have kick up and they have fallout, but it's not an insane amount, and also they blend beautifully. These were a little hard to blend, these basic colors, and even though I really like the look I came out with, this blue is absolutely stunning. I will say that the blue was gorgeous. I just did not like the way this palette performed. I did like the look I came out with, but I own so many palettes that I just don't want to work that hard for it. So that is why I'm going to go ahead and declutter that one. Now this one came with it. It came in a bundle, and this one's brand new. So, and what works for one, because these worked for her, and her makeup always looks gorgeous, but they just did not work for me. So this one's like brand new. So I am going to be decluttering that one. So another one that I'm decluttering is this Bad Habit Aurora, only because I ended up getting the Prism palette. So I got it for like half off, and I've already used it and I enjoy it. So this one's brand new. I do enjoy the retro love, and I hear great things about this specific, the ones duping the Anastasia palettes. I hear great things. Again, I have the retro love, which is, it dupes the Subculture one. But because I got the Prism palette, I don't need to have this one. So I am going to be decluttering that one. I'm going to be decluttering like 3 new ones. And then this one's brand new. This is the Aphrodite. This one I had trouble decluttering because I think this color story is so unique and gorgeous. I mean, so pretty. I keep like decluttering this and then putting it back, like taking it out and putting it back. But I think it's time to finally like let it go. I did buy the Natasha Denona Sunset palette for the VIB sale, so I don't need this. I just don't. I don't need you. I don't need you. This one I did test out. This is the Athena, and this is another one duping another Huda. Like that one's duping the, there's a Desert Rose and then another Huda. I don't know which one's which, but both of these are duping the Huda Beauty palettes. And I didn't really enjoy this one. I did enjoy some of the shimmers, but I didn't like the mattes. So it was just one of those things where I had to work a little bit more for it. And again, I have palettes where they're easier to work with. So I do think this is really good if you don't mind blending a little bit more. But again, I have palettes that blend out effortlessly. So the color story in here is absolutely stunning, and the shimmer shades are absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. And I didn't test out every single matte in here. I only tested out like 3 of the shades, this brown, this purple, and this like peachy shade, and they just didn't blend out the way that I like. This palette actually blended out very well for a colorful palette. This one's supposed to be duping the small Huda palettes. This is the Aftershock one, and this one is very, very pretty. So I will put up a picture of my unicorn look, and I used this palette along with another one of my palettes from Juvia's place, which I am also decluttering. There's a reason why though. So let me go grab that one, since I've also used some of these other colors in another look, and this is a really nice palette. But I have since picked up other colorful palettes and don't need so many. So I also, in that unicorn look, used the Juvia's Place. This is the Masquerade. I used a lot of the colors in here just to get like that shine, as well as other palettes. That look took several palettes. But this one I'm decluttering because I actually got the mini. I do not like the size of this. I don't grab for it for that reason. It's just very large. So when Ulta was having Juvia's Place like half, 40% off, I did pick up the mini of this because it's very inexpensive. And then I had points, so I paid like $8 for, I had picked up like 4 of their palettes. So I am decluttering this one just because of the size of it. So 2 more that I'm decluttering are these Jaclyn Hill palettes. The color stories in these palettes are gorgeous. I paid $12 because you pick up this palette and use a $3.50 off coupon that they always have, and you know, you get them cheap. Both of these color stories are stunning. These are the 2 that I liked out of the 4. But I have palettes with these shades that perform better. I did create a look, and I will put it right here, using the Dark Magic palette. And the look came out pretty. Some of the shades were a little hard to blend, but I was not mad because these darker shades, especially blues, are a little harder to formulate from what I hear. But I did not like the way it lasted. My eye look looked so bad by the end of the night, and it is humid here in Florida, and I went out with the girls for a night out and I came back with raccoon eyes. I understand it's like muggy, but I've worn makeup and it's not looked as bad as that. So I did not like the way this wore on me. Other people enjoy these, so it could just be my oily skin with the weather. These palettes don't hold up well on my eyes, but I have other palettes that do. So for that reason, I am going to be getting rid of these. I will say her 35 pan palette, I do enjoy. I actually used some of it. I mixed this in with another blue to go with my skirt. So I'm wearing this really pretty long skirt today, and that is why my eye, sorry if you hear my stomach, I'm hungry. So here is another palette, and I'll post another photo that I did. A look I created with this palette, and these were just a little harder to blend. Some of these colors, the metallics that she comes out with are always beautiful, and I never really have a problem with the metallics. It's the mattes, and I've just found so many other people that do mattes the right way, like Anastasia and Natasha Denona and Juvia's Place, that they're good for the price. You get what you pay for. The pigmentation is there, you can build it up, but I do not get inspired now that I know how they perform. Okay, so those are the items that are for sure going. Next up are items that I am reevaluating, and if I don't use them by my next declutter, they are gone. I will try to go through these really quickly, but these are up on my chopping block. First up is this Natasha Denona mini star palette. I now own the gold palette, and I don't think these compare. The mattes do. I think the mattes in here are absolutely beautiful, but these shimmer shades, they're gone by the end of the day. Especially this one. This shade, first of all, is like it's got like a shift to it. I don't know if you can see it. This shade is gorgeous. I bought this palette because of this shade. This shade does not stay on my lids, which is so upsetting because it's absolutely stunning. I've already worn this palette 3 times, and I've used this shade. I've put used to this shade, and I've tried everything. Again, the 2 mattes in here are great. They blend out really, really beautifully. And then these 2 shades here, they're just your normal shades. But this shade here, by the end of the day, where my eye creases, it's gone. And I take my shade up high enough that it shouldn't do that, and this one just, it doesn't last on me. So if I can't get it to work, I'm gonna try one more thing. And if I can't get this to work, it's gone. And it's such a nice like size, and I just think it's great. And again, I love the mattes in here, but I'm very disappointed with this one shade. Next up is this Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics. I just don't reach for this anymore just because I have so many other mattes that outperform this. I do have all of the naked, the long ones, and I really enjoyed this when I first got it. I mean, it doesn't look it because I'm very light-handed with my makeup, but I used this to death when I first got it. This creates very beautiful like work looks, and I was very much into mattes when I got this, but now I'm really into shimmer and playing with my makeup. So I do think this is a really nice everyday palette. I just find that I have other everyday palettes that I enjoy more. Another one that's up on my chopping block, and not because it's bad, this is actually one of my favorite palettes. And it's only up on my chopping block because, again, I got the Natasha Denona Sunset palette during the VIB sale. And I had picked this up because this was duping the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. But after getting my gold palette for Christmas, I've always wanted the Sunset palette. I still don't think a palette is worth more than $100. I don't think it, but I want that palette, and I'm a makeup collector, so I went ahead, and since I got that one as a gift, I was okay with getting the Sunset palette, only because I've wanted it now for 2 years since it came out in 2017. So I was never rouged before. I'm finally rouge. I hit rouge for fall, and 2 years later I still want that palette. So it's coming in the mail, and I just don't feel the need to have 2 of these. This palette is gorgeous. I'm not mad at it. I've created some beautiful looks with this palette, so I would recommend it if you do not want to spend over $100 on a palette. This was 16 bucks. But again, I enjoy palettes with mirrors. I love the whole experience. I do think ColourPop, for being the price it is, I do think their packaging is super adorable. I wish that like some of their other palettes, they just had a mirror, because that would just set it off. But I just don't see the point in having 2 palettes that are very similar, especially if I know I'm going to be reaching for that one now that one is coming. But this is one of my favorite ColourPop palettes. I still want to play with my Natasha Denona one to just make sure that there's a lot of similarities before I let go of this one. So this one is, again, on its way out, possibly. Next up is this Persona. So many people talk about this. This palette's okay. It beats the Naked Basics. I will say that. I just don't know what the big deal about this palette. People talk about how it's just so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And maybe I gotta play with it more. There is a look that I've been wanting to do. I'm gonna do it soon. But this is up on my chopping block because I don't know what the hype around this one is. It's a pretty basic palette, but it's basic. Like, I don't understand. And I love basic, but there's like basic that, like the sultry and the soft glam that like capture my heart the way this captures other people's hearts, and it just hasn't done that for me, and that's okay. It just hasn't. So I've wanted this palette forever, and it kept selling out, and then they brought it back, and now that I have it, I don't know what the hype around this one is either. I like it. I've created very beautiful romantic looks, but I've created more beautiful romantic looks with my modern renaissance, and I guess that's what it is. I guess I'm just a bougie bitch. I like ColourPop. ColourPop is one of my favorite affordable brands, and I think you can create a beautiful look with it. But again, I am like a makeup enthusiast. I just, the whole experience of it, I don't know what it is. I just feel like, I don't know what it is. Because I can create beautiful looks with this as well as my ABH and my AB, and this one's cheaper. But just the whole experience of using that over this is what I enjoy. So this is up on my chopping block. Again, I'm gonna go into after this where I'm taking my channel. Up on my chopping block is this Retro Love. I love this palette. This palette is gorgeous. I'm going to insert a picture here of a look that I created. This is a really gorgeous palette. I did get the Subculture palette, so people have told me not to let go of this. When I had filmed my other video, my declutter, people were like, hang on to that one because this one is supposedly better than the Subculture. But people say that if you work the Subculture a certain way, those colors are richer. So I feel like I can get the Subculture to work for me just because I feel like I can. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm hanging on to this until I play with that one. And if I get that one to work, this one is going. Sorry if I keep looking here. This is where my monitor is, and I'm just, if I look cross-eyed, that's why. Next up is this Lash Splash Golden Gatsby palette. I really got this because the Beauddiction, I think, is her channel. Anyone I mention, I will have listed below. My camera's about to die. Let me go get my battery. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my camera was dying. I got this because the Beauddiction like swatched this. Also, I had a coupon and because of the packaging, and I created this look, which came out really pretty but disappeared by the end of the night. This mint julep shade here disappeared. So I'm gonna play with this a little bit more, but these were so soft that to me they were just so soft that they just floated away. They just disappeared. I could not believe that. I've had eye looks where I get like bald spots afterwards because of my eyes rubbing, but this literally like dusted away. Like it wasn't a bald spot. It just like faded to nothing. It was kind of crazy. I did just use it the one time, so I am gonna give it another shot, but this is up on the chopping block. Okay, so my Tartelette and Bloom. This palette is another sexy everyday work palette. This one's really pretty. It performs very well, but I just got the Tarteist Pro Remix from my sister, and there is a section. Let me pull that one out. So there is like a little bit of, I mean, not everything, but there is a little bit of a section like this row, like basically this whole row here minus this bright color and then this black that I compared, and they're very similar. They're not exact, but there's just some shades. There aren't any of these beautiful, like I will say this Smoke Show isn't like a black. It's a very pretty shade. And then these browns, like you got like a cooler one as well, like a warmer one. This is a very pretty everyday work palette. I like this more than the Naked Basics. So it is on my chopping block because if I feel like I can create looks with other items that I have in my collection that I prefer more, then I'm probably going to get rid of this one. Again, these are just items that I'm considering in my next declutter because I have a lot of makeup. I have like over 60 palettes and that's too many. So I love this palette. I don't know that if this is still available anymore. I don't think so. I have so many bright palettes now that I just don't reach for this one anymore. But I created so many festival looks and I will put them up now. Like 1, 2, and 3. I even created just an everyday look that I wore. This carnival, this gunmetal color, oh my god. This palette is super stunning, but this palette is pretty much my Storybook Mean Girls palette. So this has more shades, but the shades that I gravitate towards, like that carnival, that pink, that neon green color, just those colors that I tend to gravitate towards are colors in here. I will say I like the gunmetal shade more than this October 3rd one, but I have this palette. This palette is amazing. The formula in here is up to par. I mean, this palette's gorgeous, and I have used this. I will put up some looks that I created using this palette as well. And yeah, so I don't know that I need both of these. I don't need both of these, but this one's up just because I tend to go for that one more than this one. But this palette is gorgeous. This palette has to be one of my favorite BH cosmetics. I've had several, which I have decluttered some. This one I recommend to everyone who is looking for your all-in-one palette. I got all my cousins to buy this palette. This palette is, I think this palette is gorgeous. This palette is stunning. I don't use this palette anymore. I used this palette to death when I first got it. Again, I do have a light hand, so you can't tell. I didn't use a lot of the bronzers or the highlighters or anything like that, but I used a lot of this for like work looks. And this is another one that's a possible declutter. Let's see how many of these I actually declutter. So another palette that I'm seriously thinking about letting go is this In the Balm of Your Hand volume. I use this for work all the time for just like your one shades. But there's just other stuff that I just want to play with. So I feel like if I hang on to this one, I'm not going to play with any of my other ones. And then last but not least are all my BH cosmetics. These palettes are great, especially if you're a makeup artist. Like, look at that. These are just going up in my chopping block. These are ones that I'm going to consider because I don't need all these. I've been using other blushes over these, like my Tarte, my Ofra, my Jouer. So I just don't reach for these anymore. I do think these are stunning, and for the longest time I did use them. Maybe I'll keep one or two, but these are also up on my chopping block. What I am going to be doing is I want to do a shop my stash, and every week I am going to pull out one palette and pull out something else and use it and take notes. It's going to be a little bit more than a year, and then when I've used every palette, I want to rank them, declutter what I'm not using, and I just kind of want to go over the palettes. So I will have like maybe monthly updates. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And you'll get a lot in that video. You'll get me trying out the palette, giving you ideas. That is the direction I want to take my channel. I want to take my channel where I am using what I have, because I enjoy it. I enjoyed doing this look, and I just want to focus on a palette a week and do, you know, anywhere from 2 to 5 looks depending on how I feel that week, and just kind of go through everything and then reevaluate everything, rank my palettes from like my favorite to my least, get rid of what isn't bringing me joy anymore. I still will do reviews because I still will buy stuff if I really want it. I do pick up stuff when it goes on sale because that's just how I am. I enjoy getting makeup when it's on sale. So that is where I'm going to be taking my channel. It's going to be more of like a, you know, shop your makeup stash type of thing. I'm not sure where that originated from. It didn't come from me, but that is where I am going with this. I will be doing less reviews. I will review stuff as it's new to me. The stuff is already out. You've already seen videos on it, but as I use them, time, I will let you know my thoughts and stuff like that. I also want to get more into skincare, also my health. I was starting the keto diet and I was going to film that, but again, I had a health issue, so that took a back seat. I actually put that video to private just because I had said I was going to be giving weekly updates on that, and I just couldn't keep up because again I had gotten sick. Yeah, that is the direction I am gonna be going in. I hope you guys will come along for the ride. It isn't as interesting as reviews, you know, reviewing makeup all the time, what's new, what's fresh. But I can't do that. This is not my job. This is a hobby. I love talking about makeup. I love creating looks. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be talking about makeup and creating looks. And hopefully if it's 200 people or if it's 500 people will come join this community and just kind of talk makeup with me. So yeah, that's where this is gonna be going. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you like me and haven't already subscribed to my channel, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed and click that notification bell so you know when I upload. And until next time, guys, bye.